Namaskar. A T20 cricket match resulted to a lot of arrests in India. Now, in Srinagar, some students were arrested under the UAPA. In Rajasthan, mind you, Congress ruled Rajasthan, a school teacher was arrested for supporting Pakistan. In Agra, Uttar Pradesh, 3 people were arrested, 3 Kashmiri students were arrested, 4 more were slapped with cases, and very soon these cases are going to be converted to sedition case. That's what people say. So, is this fair? That's the question we asked tonight. And my topic number 2 is Prashant Kishor. Prashant Kishor says that, Bharatiya Janata Party is going to be here for decades. You can't wish away Bharatiya Janata Party. This is what he says. Acha? Okay, let's discuss that too. Let's get right into the show. Students were arrested and slapped with UAPA in Srinagar in 2 medical colleges for cheering Pakistan. Like I said, Congress ruled Rajasthan. A teacher was arrested because she was cheering Pakistan. Agra, some Kashmiri students and 4 others, 3 Kashmiri students and 4 others were arrested. A lot of cases are slapped against them, but it seems that sedition case is going to be slapped against these people, these 7 people who were caught because they were cheering Pakistan. Is cheering Pakistan in an India-Pakistan cricket match good? The answer is of course not. Of course not. You should be cheering your own country, isn't it? Correct. But because somebody is not cheering our country, do we put them behind bars? Do we put UAPA case against them? Do we put sedition case against them? I'll come to the sedition part of it in more detail. But putting such cases, is that fair? That's the question we will discuss tonight. Now, once upon a time, when I was young, I also used to get very angry when, few people would burst crackers and all when Pakistan won. I also used to get very angry. I also used to feel, what the hell, yaar? I mean, why are these guys breaking crackers when, India has lost? When I was so sad and others were breaking crackers. I also thought that, we should also punish them. We should also go and, put them behind bars and all of that. Once I was watching a match. I was watching a football match. And in between that match, there was this news item which I was watching with an American friend of mine in his house, and wherein I saw some protesters who were standing on top of American flag. They were standing on top of American flag, plong, in middle of Washington, and they were protesting. I said, "Yaar, kya yaar? People are standing on your flag? Arey, aisa kaisa hota hai? And nothing happens. And you people are quiet." He looked at me. He said, "Yaar, what do you mean?" He says, "You know what? My flag is not all that small. My country is not all that small that some idiots stand on top of my flag and my country is, everything is lost and my country's reputation is lost and my country's imagery is lost or my country's heritage is lost. Nothing is lost." He says, "Nothing. My country is too big for all these idiots and all these people who are standing on top of my flag." I genuinely learned a lesson that day. I learned how confident he was about his country and how insecure I was about mine. I thought if 4 people burst crackers, my entire country's image, my country's honor, my country's everything got destroyed. And look at that man. He said, "Kuch farak nahi padta hai. My country is much greater than that." That day, my entire perception about people bursting crackers or somebody supporting Pakistan, all of that changed. For me, my country is far more bigger than a few kids here or a few kids there or a few miscreants here and a few miscreants here bursting crackers, possibly because to irritate me, possibly to spike me. That's the way I look at it. And after that, I saw this entire incident differently. It didn't really matter to me because I was very confident about myself. I was very confident about my country. Now, this is the first point. The second point is, let me ask you this question. What exactly does sedition mean? Let's go by the law. According to section 124A, which is sedition law, whoever by words either spoken or written or by sign or by visible representation or otherwise attempts to bring into hatred or contempt or attempts to excite disaffection towards the government established by the law in India, imprisoned shall be punished imprisonment for life, to which fine may be added, or with imprisonment which may extend to 3 years, to which fine may be added, or with fine. I have read the law as is. Now what does the law say? The law doesn't say that, if you support another country, you will be put behind bars. The law doesn't say that. The law doesn't say that, you have to be patriotic. The law never says anywhere in this. Law never says you be patriotic. If we find you non-patriotic, no, we'll put you behind bars. Law doesn't say that. What does the law say? The law says to bring into hatred or contempt or excite or attempt to excite disaffection towards the government. You see, the law is very clear. This law was not meant for the elected government in India. This law was meant for British government. If you are going to bring about some kind of a disenchantment towards the government, some amount of animosity towards the government, some amount of disaffection towards the government, that is when this law kicks in, because that was made because people were going against the British government. And to stop people from going against the British government and to actually put Krantikaris into behind bars, that is when sedition law was put into place. Lokmanya Tilak, Bal Gangadhar Lokmanya Tilak was charged under section 124A. These were the kind of people who were charged under section 124A, and we are practicing this draconian law even today. Now let me ask you a question. Like I said, celebrating because Pakistan won, is it fair? Of course it is not fair. Is it right? Of course it is not right. Those are miscreants. But does it mean that they are going against the government or they are creating disaffection against the government? Those students, is our government, is our country that small, that weak, that meek, that these students can bring about that disaffection? You see, by putting these kind of laws, we are making those students into heroes. We are making those people sitting across the border and others to say that, dekho kya ho raha hai udhar. These are things we should not even be bothered. These are things we should not even be bothered. Now let me ask you another question. What is sedition? When a MP of a government, MP of India, says that a martyr, Hemant Karkare, died because, he was going against Hindus, or he was going against me, so he died because of that curse of mine, isn't that sedition? You are defaming a martyr of this country. Doesn't that come under sedition? When somebody says that, Nathuram Godse is a great man, the person who cold-blooded murdered the father of this nation, when somebody says he is a great man, is that not sedition? So sedition is what? Sedition is what the government wants? Sedition is what the lawmaker wants, or the cop thinks that ye sedition hai, ye sedition nahi hai. Ye mere ko pasand hai, to yaar sedition nahi hai. Ye mere ko pasand nahi hai, sedition hai boss. Who decides this? The politicians? The police who reports to the politicians? Who decides this? So first of all, let us get this concept clear, because what is good for the geese, like I always say, should be good for the gander. It can't be that you have one law for one and another law for another. Number one. Number two, I think as a country and as countrymen, we are a patriotic lot. Most of us are. Believe me, let us start exercising, manifesting our patriotism by being secure, by being confident about our country and our countrymen. That's the first thing we should do. And then we talk about spreading our image and talking about India to the rest of the world. Let us be confident about our own country and our own people. That's the point I wanted to make on my topic number one. Let's get into topic number two. Acha, now, our good strategist, Mr. Prashant Kishor, said that Bharatiya Janata Party is here to stay for decades. He says, any political party that has got more than 30% vote share in the country is here to stay for a long time. And he says that, unlike what Rahul Gandhi says, that BJP will go right now, Modi will go right now, it is not going to happen. So 3 statements he made. One is BJP is going to stay for decades. Second is any party that has got more than 30% vote share will stay here. And third, that Rahul Gandhi thinks that they are going to go. Their party will go, this BJP will go, Modi will go, and so on and so forth. 3 statements. Let us talk about his first statement. Bharatiya Janata Party will stay regardless whether they win the election or not. It is a party that to be stayed. Does a Prashant Kishor needs to say that? Everybody knows Bharatiya Janata Party is going to say. And mind you, this 30%, which is topic number 2, ये थोड़ा मुझे weird लगा. 30% होगा तो they will stay for decades. Is that his mathematics? Because if he is using percentage, that means there is some logic, right? 30%, 3 decades, 33%, 33 years, 24%, 34 years. Is that the logic he's talking about? You know why? Because as consultants, we've got this dirty habit of using figure. See, 18.6% of people believe that, this color for this particular product is like, this is how we sell. This is how we actually sell. This is how we market. And this is how we make our statements sacrosanct. By using figures. I say figure throw karta. And we try and link a figure to a logic. So, my submission is, I don't dispute to the fact that what he's saying. I don't dispute to the fact that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to stay and is going to be here for a long time. Whether they win or whether they don't, they are going to be here for a long time. Everybody knows it. When 1980, when LK Advani and Atal Bihari Vajpayee started Bharatiya Janata Party, even then they knew that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to stay. They didn't even have 2% vote then. But they knew that Bharatiya Janata Party is going to stay here in India for a long time. They were very clear about that. When Atal Bihari Vajpayee government first formed, he knew, even the 13 days government, he knew that Bharatiya Janata, he and the entire Bharatiya Janata Party and possibly the rest of the country knew that Bharatiya Janata Party is here to stay. So it is nothing new. The government again in 1999, he knew that Bharatiya Janata Party is here to stay. And whether they win in 2004 or not, Bharatiya Janata Party is here to stay. Nobody needs to say that. So that's no big revelation, number 1. Party of that size with this kind of fan following is bound to stay. Uske andar 30% or 32% kya hai? Which means that in 2024 election, if they get less than 30%, you think 2025 they're not going to be there? Is that what he's saying? Talking about figures, let me ask you a question. In 1999, Bharatiya Janata Party had 23.7% vote share. Weren't they relevant in 2004? In 2004, Bharatiya Janata Party had 22% vote share. Weren't they relevant in 2009 elections? In 2009 elections, Bharatiya Janata Party had 18.8% vote. Weren't they relevant in 2014 elections? So that 30% has no logic to it. That's number 1. Now the last point, the point I wanted to raise. See, I have nothing against Prashant Kishor. I think he's a great strategist. Okay, I have no love lost for Rahul Gandhi either. My only submission is, you see what I said before and I say this now. Just because the relationship didn't match, just because I was not hired, just because you didn't do what I told you to do, therefore you are an idiot. If you say that, I think that is completely wrong. And that is what I am voicing in most of my editorials. Because the man didn't listen to you, the man didn't want to hire you, the man didn't want to work with you, jiddhar chance mile, wherever you get a chance, you pull him and you nail him. Ye kya baat hui yaar? Where did Rahul Gandhi say that Narendra Modi is going to go or BJP is going to go?
Our top story now, poll strategist Prashant Kishor held discussions with Congress leaders Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, reportedly on something bigger than upcoming state polls. And with the 2024 national election in sight, according to sources, the meeting was not about Punjab or Uttar Pradesh polls as was being speculated, but about something bigger, an indication that Prashant Kishor might be looking at a significant role in getting the Congress battle ready for the 2024 Lok Sabha polls.
See, he has all the right to criticize. Don't we criticize? Every day we criticize. But he has all the right to criticize. But to criticize because you didn't get the business, criticize because you didn't get to associate, criticize because you didn't get what you asked for, that for a consultant is not fair. That's all I'm saying yesterday. That's all I'm saying today. I still think Prashant Kishor may be a good strategist. I'm not disputing all that. But what he's doing right now is not befitting a consultant. That's all my point for today. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.